Hi, I hope you're having a great day, but if you're not, hopefully these stories from Reddit will cheer you up. Let's begin. A simple compliment from a stranger made my whole week. While grabbing coffee this morning, a stranger told me they liked my smile. It was such a small thing, but it completely lifted my mood. I spent the rest of the day smiling at others. Kindness really is contagious. And it really is, especially with the whole world, how it feels like it's falling apart, or sometimes maybe your world might be feeling like it's falling apart. But just remember, there is kindness and hope out there. I'm Tan, and I'm following up with my series called Echoes of the Internet. If you have a message you want to share, whether it be happy, sad, angry, any mood you'd like, send us an email at echoes.internet@gmail.com and your message may echo next. But for now, I'm going to be reading Reddit stories, but I'm looking forward to reading your messages. I'm a 21 female, and my best friend is a 74-year-old woman. I like her better than any other friend I ever had. I can relate to this. Can you? There was a time where one of my close friends was like 10 years older. Maybe not that much of an age gap compared to this story. But you realize that sometimes friendship comes in the most weirdest places or the, unconventional thing. So let's continue on. I'm still in college, but I've been doing a part-time internship in a firm since January. And that's where I met this lovely elderly woman who's working past her retirement. Although you would not believe she is in her 70s, lol. She's physically in better shape than I am. Just remember, they say that if you try to make a life of less stress, you'll live longer, and if your work has purpose, it helps a lot for getting up the next day. Have you ever worked a job where you didn't really feel like doing it, but you rocked up anyway, and you just felt not so good afterwards? Yeah, it sucks. But this is an example of someone who clearly loves a job, and I think that's really important. All right, continue on. I have Asperger's, which is a form of high-functioning autism. I'm also 21 and have never been on a date, never kissed anyone, never had anyone who was in love with me, as far as I know. I know that feeling. I've pretty much accepted that there is a big chance I will never be loved. Oh man, I can relate to that too. But let's continue on. I get lonely sometimes, that's all. So in a burst of emotional impulsivity, I once shared all this with a co-worker. I complained how everyone I know is in relationships, and if not, at least they have exes. I just want to have an ex at ATP. I think that was a misspell, but that's okay. To be able to say I've at least been loved by someone in the past. Yeah, I know that feeling. There is a time where I've been single. No, I've been single for almost 11 years now, and I know that feeling. I wonder if I have Asperger's. I never got diagnosed as a kid, but continue on. She listened very patiently and went on to tell me that she's also single and has been since the 90s, and that it's been the happiest time of her life. She was in an abusive marriage in her early life, and most of her boyfriends she's had always ended up cheating on her. She got herself a dog and says he has made her happier than any man ever did. I've never had a dog or a pet that I've looked after 24/7 before, but I could see how animals can be great companionships, because this is my theory. When humans let you down too much, you start looking for companionship elsewhere, and I think that's okay. Maybe it's a part of us that we choose the wrong people to be around due to our patterns, but I'm not a psychologist. Anyway, I went off on a tangent there. Let's move on. Her story was very inspiring for me to listen to. I never thought I could be happy alone. And she also has Asperger's, by the way. She got diagnosed with it a few years ago, so she spent most of her life feeling like an outsider without ever knowing why. That's really what we got to talking about. It makes us so close because we have so many similar experiences. For example, not having any friends at school, being more interested in books than people, and accidentally hurting people's feelings without realizing it. For some reason, I can somewhat relate to that. I've said things without even thinking about it. And I thought to myself, why did that hurt that person's feeling? And I would have to do a lot of soul searching to realize, oh my God, that does sound pretty bad. I think I should get myself checked. It's a little bit expensive though, but let's put that on the bucket list. This story is already teaching me so much about myself that so many things I might have ignored because I wanted to tell myself that I fit in. Then Valentine's Day rolls around in February and has always been a lonely, sad day for me. Oh, I know that feeling. Ever since I was 15, everyone around me has had boyfriends who pampered them on this day, and I was just alone. I've always wanted flowers from someone, but no one has ever fulfilled that wish. I've literally asked around and begged for my friends to buy me flowers because I just want to experience the feeling of getting a bouquet of roses or something for once. She had bought me flowers and she'd left me on the desk with a pair of knitted socks because she knows I always have cold feet. And the note says, "Happy Valentine's. Hope you can find a sense of peace and contentment in your day." Okay. I was meant to make you feel happy, but this is making me hit me in the feels because I think I can relate. I've never really felt like I've been gifted something with love before. I have, but I haven't. It's hard to explain, but nothing in this romantic sense. You know, boys have love romance too. Just remember that, of all the women who are watching this today. You lovely smart girl is what the end of the sentence say. Sorry. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you can find a sense of peace and contentment in your day. You lovely smart girl. I started crying, and I cry. I did for a very long time. Yeah, like the other day, we hold in our emotions way too much, bro. Hey, we still work together, and we're very close. We spend time together on our free time too. I get anxiety attacks often at night. So many evenings I go over to her place and we watch movies together or make food. Sometimes we just sit in silence and focus on our respective special interests. Mine is writing and literature. Hers is knitting. I don't have many or any friends my own age. Well, I have one, but I don't like her. The reason I never had friends at school is because I simply don't get along well with people my age. I've always had that issue. I believe it's an autism thing. So my advice is don't restrict your friend selections to people your age. Yeah, damn, man. There's a part of me where I can sort of relate to this. I've had close friends before where there has been a big age gap, and I've never really held on because I know we just drifted apart. But this story is pretty inspiring because you do find companionship. It doesn't have to be romantic or anything in the most strangest places. It does make me wonder sometimes that maybe everyone who has their big friendship circles, they've been evolutionized, I guess, to be able to find those close friends. But I've always had that problem myself. I've always wanted to just have one-on-one friendships. I've never really been able to fit in big groups because everyone talks. I stay silent. It's probably an introvert thing. But when I'm with someone who I'm truly comfortable with, I'm just yammer, yammer, yammer. It's pretty great. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. And finding someone who can relate at that level I'm always swore, is pretty damn hard. So thank you for sharing this story, this random news on Reddit. I appreciate it. All right, one more story for the road. I think I was going to read a lot more, but there's quite a lot of words to say, and I like to put in my input as well. Down to 235 pounds after 10 months of trying to lose weight. Hello. I was over 300 pounds, started actively losing weight at 285 pounds, and after 10 months of working out and trying to eat healthier, I surpassed my goals of 250 pounds and hit 235 pounds last I checked. This is the lightest I've ever been since like middle school. Congratulations, user Reddit. That is amazing effort. I've been there myself before, maybe not that big. I've been up and down. I've always been the fat kid. It sucked. Never got picked for high school events, sport events. Or never really knew what it felt like to be healthy and fit. And once you experience it, it's pretty hard to go back. And when you go further and further along, when you slowly feel yourself creep into those old habits, it just doesn't feel right anymore. Those little extra steps, the hard yards you put in, is really something to be celebrated for. That's awesome. Let's continue on. Before I was struggling to even stand, I worked in food service and my heels and ankles were starting to seriously hurt from just carrying my weight every day. I was never able to find clothes my size in stores and even stopped being able to fit in my favorite ride at my local amusement park. I felt awful every day because of it. So this year I decided I wanted to take life seriously and lose weight. I got a gym membership and have been going almost every day since. I do at least 20 to 30 minutes of cardio every day and weightlifting for 3 times a week. I don't actively count my calories, but instead of eating 500 calories of processed item from a gas station kitchen, can I relate? Sometimes a gas station meat pie is pretty darn good. I eat a 200 calorie protein bar. I added frozen veg to my microwave meals. I stopped drinking soda and drink sparkling flavored water instead. Zero sugar, zero. I sound like an Asian from another country. 0 calorie energy drinks. I still plan on losing more. I hope at one point I can get down to 200 pounds. When I move out from my parents' place, I plan on starting to learn how to cook so I don't have to eat out so much. That is amazing. Probably the hardest part of losing weight, I believe, is that people, and myself included, go too hard, too fast, and your brain goes into shock. You're like, why are you doing this to yourself? Go back to comfort. Oh, can I relate to that one? So I focus on just doing little things every day. Go for a walk for 5 minutes, not even half an hour, what he's doing. I committed to myself every day to make sure I did something. And when I finally did that for close to how long he was doing it for, 10 months, I decided, you know what, it's time to work on what I ate. So I was very lucky that I am interested in cooking. So I learned about calories, not having to count too hard on them, just replacing bad food with good food. Like he said here, instead of eating a 500 calorie processed item from a gas station, I had a 200 calorie protein bar. I know that's probably wasn't his whole diet, but that's not the point. It can be as simple as just replacing the foods, and when you do that for long enough, you start to see change. You don't see that overnight, though. It sucks, I know. And I'm already going through my own battles, which I can totally relate to, and I need to set my goals to be similar to that. For me right now, I want to just spread more joy in people and make people smile. So, whoever's listening to this, I hope I'm making you smile. Alright, to finish off, but yeah, I'm just proud of my progress so far. I feel so much better about myself now. I made a few posts on Reddit about it before. So I thought it'd be nice to give an update. Good luck to the rest of y'all who are also trying to lose weight. It's hard, but it's worth it. It sure is, man. Being the big guy of my whole life, you don't realize how good it is to just jump everywhere, you know? It's amazing. Great. Let's see where we're going for time. Sweet. I think we have time for one more story. This one's a short one. And it's about taking pills. So, I stopped taking pills and it's like a fog finally lifted. So, yep. I stopped taking hormonal pills a few months ago, and I didn't realize how much they were affecting my mood until now. I feel lighter, happier, and just more me. Like the old me. I don't know what the backstory of why taking hormonal pills might be. It could have been for birth control, maybe transitioning, or, I think the other one was for acne. I'm aware that some people take hormonal pills to treat their acne. So, here's one thing. I didn't realize how much hormones can affect your mood. So, essentially for men, I don't know about women, but if your testosterone is low and you start to feel moody, that's one of the reasons. Hormones play a big part of how you feel overall as a human being. I didn't know that so much until someone informed me. So I started to fix my sleeping habits as much as I could because I worked a night shift. And I also tried to eat better, exercise more, and as I got some blood tests, as my testosterone levels started to level out, I started feeling better about myself as well. Just remember, I'm not a doctor though. I just took sort of like advice here and there and hoped it'd work. And after a couple of months, it did. Okay, let's finish the rest of the story. I've noticed colors seem brighter. Listening to music is more fun, and I actually want to do things again. I used to think feeling low energy or moody was just normal, but now it's like I've woken up after a long nap. This is one really interesting thing this user has just brought up, feeling normal. What is your perspective on normal? Because here's the very interesting thing. Even if you're feeling sad all the time, if you feel sad for long enough, that becomes your new baseline of what normal is. And when you want to try to get better and happier, your baseline can get all cooked because you've identified with being sad is normal. And when you start feeling these endorphins, you start getting imposter syndrome, which I get almost all the time when I try to change something about myself. Remember, I'm not a psychologist. This is all anecdotal. Just remember that. I want to put a disclaimer out there. That's awesome that this Reddit user is feeling great. All right, let's finish the last sentence. I guess I'm just grateful to feel connected to myself again. It's crazy how much clarity can come back once your body finds balance on its own again. Yep, that's for sure. That is for sure. Like it's like a whole reset for the body. That's amazing. Anyway, that's the end of the happy Reddit stories. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my stories. And not my stories, they're Reddit stories. I can't take credit for this because I'm just reading off the screen. So, I don't want to continue doing this forever. So if you made it this far, if you have a story to tell, happy, sad, angry, any mood you want, give me the context, write it in maybe first person perspective, and I'll make sure your message echoes next. Email this to echoes.internet@gmail.com. That's it for today, and thank you for listening to Happy Reddit Stories. Up next, maybe I'll read something sad, something to bring your mood down. We're going on an emotional roller coaster. Subscribe for more. Bye.